Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest, and the image in the background here is just AI generated via Leonardo, not any of my prompts. I'm not that advanced. I am playing around with it now, and I am becoming a little bit better, but some of the images on that platform, AI image platform, are quite spectacular. So I thought, why not use one? And maybe I can use more in the future. And possibly instead of grabbing some images of some free images off the internet, I could just create my own images in the future. So I love playing with AI stuff right now, but again, I am no expert. Anyway, a week ago, we came to the end of March quarterly reporting season. Now, in previous years, any sort of Appendix 4C or 5B that I liked, I would do a standalone video on that particular company. Never had any list. Maybe once or twice I did. And I thought, why not give you my top 10 Appendix 4Cs and 5Bs for the March quarter in a video? And then I came up with 44 contenders on the back of one rule, which I will discuss in the next slide. And I just couldn't decide which 10 of those 44 contenders belonged in the top 10 list. So instead of a top 10, I'm doing a top 25. Even then, there was a few companies that I had to exclude that I didn't really want to, but that's okay. Maybe I can look at those companies next quarter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal the top 25 Appendix 4Cs and 5Bs for the March quarter in this particular video. And then I'll do a quick, like maybe a 4 to 5 minute video on each 25 companies that made it onto this list. So what was that one rule I did use to filter most of the companies that did release Appendix 4C and 5Bs for the March quarter? Because if I didn't have this filter, I could have had 1,000 candidates. And I just realized as I looked at this particular slide that one rule might have allusions to Lord of the Rings. And this image, if you think hard enough, might belong in that universe. But this is not fantasy. This is real life. And I needed a rule to filter the majority of companies out. And that one rule was only to include operating cash flow positive companies for the quarter. This was very important. Just for the quarter, they had to be operating cash flow positive. So there were some interesting companies that were left out, including Drone Shield and Aurea. Both companies, I think, will be operating cash flow positive in the next quarter, and if not the next quarter, at least one of the next 2 quarters. So more than likely, when I do this process again in 3 months' time, one or both of those companies will make it onto this list. So what I'm going to do in the next slide is show you the 44 contenders that had a chance to make it into this top 25 list. And then I'll talk about why I excluded 19 of these companies. So here is the top 44 list, just a simple spreadsheet. Now, this does not include all companies that were operating cash flow positive. So I did leave some of those companies out for reasons that I won't discuss in this video. So 44 companies all ranked or listed by the time they released or the date they released their Appendix 4C or 5B. Now, I won't discuss the companies that made it. I'll leave that to the next slide. But let's discuss some of the companies that did not make it and why I left some of these companies out of this particular list. So the first one was Biome. And Biome is an interesting company. In fact, the share price actually did increase 10% in the first 5 days. So some of the things I did look at to decide upon this list, probably I should discuss that first. So I looked at the market cap, operating cash flow for the quarter, operating cash flow for the year to date. Now, for most companies, it was 9 months. Some companies 6 months, some of the companies 3 months, and that will you'll see in the brackets. So if it's not in brackets, the operating cash flow for the year to date, that means it's 9 months so far. And in brackets, 6 means 6 months, 3 means 3 months. Receipt growth. So I looked at the receipt growth of the company over the past year or so, 2 or 3 years, and whether receipts were growing. That's actually a very important, suppose, distinguishing feature for me in deciding which companies I'd include in the top 25 list. And also market perception was important. It was not probably the most important factor. But I wanted to see how the market reacted. In fact, a few companies that I did include in the top 25 list had really good reactions from the market. And if they didn't have a good reaction from the market, they probably wouldn't made it into my top 25 list. And then I have a rejection reason. So let's start off with Biome. Why did I reject Biome, a company that has been performing quite well when you look at the chart? And it was simply because they have currently low operating cash flow. Only I think it was $890,000 in the last quarter, and they were actually negative $564,000 in the year to date. And this was one of the companies that almost made it into the top 25 list. And if I did have an alternate, this would have been it. This would have been the company that probably came in at number 26. Another company was Traffic Technologies. Operating cash flow positive in the last quarter of $1 million, for the year to date, $4.6 million. But if you look at the receipts growth of the company, it has dropped significantly. And that is a significant red flag for me. And the market perception was quite neutral. But it's mainly because of the receipt drop. Then we had Fiducian. And this probably would be one of the, if not the highest quality Appendix 4C you can see. But the company releases Appendix 4Cs not every 3 months, but every 6 months. And they do it voluntary. Now, this is the only company that releases a voluntary Appendix 4C or 5B. And the simple fact, I own shares in this company. They're a quality company, in my opinion, and the Appendix 4C is voluntary, and that's why I excluded it from the top 25. Then we get to Flexi Rome, and the reason I excluded that was because of low operating cash flow. Jupiter Mines, I think that's JPR. Jupiter Mines, just personal reasons. It came close, but I needed to exclude a couple of companies, and that unfortunately was one of those companies I excluded. Babylon Power and Pump, another company that came very close. Operating cash flow positive for the year to date, $3.7 million. For a company with a market cap of $15 million does seem quite interesting. But the main reason I don't like this company is the share price. Current share price is 0.6 cents. So we get pip traders trading this company. And I don't like buying or even analyzing any companies with share price below 1 cent. So that's the only reason I excluded Babylon Power and Pump. West African Resources is I wouldn't say a high quality gold company. It's a really good value gold company with operations in Burkina Faso. It's another company I do own, and just because I own this company, and I have done a few videos on Western African Resources in the past, and it wasn't an absolutely amazing quarter. So for those reasons, it wasn't actually that hard to exclude this company from the top 25 list. PointsBet. This was another interesting reason why I excluded this company. Operating cash flow positive for the first quarter. Operating cash flow negative for the year to date of $8.8 million. But they're also doing a capital return. I think they've already done that capital return. And for that reason alone, I decided to exclude this company. Bluebird, another company that got very close. And if this company produces another quarter in the June quarter like they did in the March quarter, it will make it on the top 25. Now, this was another company, just like PointsBet, another company on this list with a similar theme, that they were operating cash flow positive for the first quarter. Year to date, negative 9.4 million. So I just want to see if this momentum can continue in at least the next quarter. So I just want more time, or give this company a little bit more time to prove themselves to me. Another company called Worker, ticker code WRAK, just had too low of operating cash flow, and the market perception was fairly neutral. Share price didn't rise or fall all that much. So low receipts and neutral market reception, but receipts growth rising. Accusensus, for those who do follow my channel quite often, you'll know I did an unsuccessful trade with Accusensus. So the simple reason I decided to exclude Accusensus from this particular top 25 list is because, yuck, I'm not that fan. I'm not that big of a fan of the company and what they do. So that was actually a simple decision, and the share price down 3% on the release of their Appendix 4C. Now, that market perception is not 1 day share price movement. It's over 5 days. So that's a very important thing I should mention, over 5 days. I think that's a good time frame to really see how the market either hated or liked the Appendix 4C or 5B. CCA, which is change, I forget what it's actually called. Again, another company that had low receipts, neutral reaction from the market, and receipts growth climbing quite slowly. So that didn't get close to making the top 25. Then we have bet makers. Similar theme as PointsBet and Bluebet, but a little bit different because they provide the software for betting agencies, something like that. And again, just like Bluebet, I want more time because this company, BetMakers, was operating cash flow positive by about $1 million in the quarter, but for the year to date, negative $9.2 million. So I just wanted to see if this was just a one-off for both companies. Then we get to DeLorean, DEL is the ticker code. Small company, market cap $11 million. Operating cash flow positive in the quarter by about $800,000. Receipts growth, I've just put no, so there is no receipts growth. And the market reception was quite muted. And when I say muted, it just means there was very little trading. So the market's just not aware of this company, it seems. And the main reason I excluded DeLorean is because of the lack of growth in receipts. So that's quite important to me. Then we get to IMB, which is Intelligence Monitor, something. They own sort of security systems for homes, that sort of thing. Highly acquisitive, extremely acquisitive, really nice operating cash flow in this particular quarter, $5.3 million for a company with a market cap of $82 million. But they do have receipts growth, but most of that receipts growth is because of acquisitions. But the main reason I decided to exclude this company, Intelligent Monitor, whatever, is because of the debt. They have really high debt. I knew that. And as soon as I saw this company make it onto this top 44 list, that was the reason I would exclude this company. Next one is Duxton Briefing Farms, Duxton something Farms. And the main reason I exclude this company is just because of the sector they're in, agriculture. I actually don't like agricultural companies for any sort of long-term investment, maybe a short-term trade, but even short-term trades can come unstuck. In fact, one of the companies that will make it into my top 5 announcements of the day on May the 6th, 2024, will be an agricultural company called Grain Corp. And I probably would have released that video by now because I'm planning to record this video before that video, but release this video well after that video. Next company that made it onto the list was Marley Spoon. Now, there is a mistake there. This company was not operating cash flow positive by $24 million in this quarter. It would have been way less. And I'm pretty sure the market cap of that company is not $4 million. So one of the platforms has that completely wrong. This is a company that that prepares meals for you or sends you the ingredients so you can cook your own meal, something like that, which is sort of a weird concept to me. But it was quite popular during COVID-19. No receipts growth. Share price down 26% on the back of their Appendix 4C. And it's just based off the reaction. Share price down 26%. And I think this was the most negative reaction from the market in terms of Appendix 4C. But I think, if I remember correctly, shares in this company are illiquidly traded. So the share price movement may not just be because of the Appendix 4C. Next one is DXN. DXN. I think that might be the name of the company, actually. Let's have a look. DXN. Yeah, DXN Limited. So DXN Limited, I have no idea what this company does. Market cap $5 million. Receipts fairly low at $230,000. Operating cash flow negative for the year to date. And it's just below operating cash flow. So a simple decision. And the market perception or reception, we've got market perception. We should have been market reception. Sometimes I get the words mixed up. But the market reception for DXN was quite muted, so not a lot of trading going on. And the final company that I excluded was probably the most easiest company to decide upon. Would have been the first company I excluded is Galena Mining, G1A. And the simple reason I excluded this company is because their shares are suspended right now. In fact, they've been suspended for a while. In fact, let's have a look. When was the last time we had some shares traded in Galena Mining? And just going through ComSec here, 8th of January 2024. So we are talking about 4 months ago. I don't even know why they've gone into suspension, but simple decision to exclude a company that you can't even buy or sell shares in. And that's it. So in the next slide, I'm going to quickly go through the companies that did make it into the top 25, and then I'll do short standalone videos on each of these 25 companies. And I actually have lied because I've already done a standalone video at one of these companies, and that's SciDev. So that company has made it. And I'm not sure yet if I will rank these companies. And I think that could be hard because I was thinking, should I make it completely objective or subjective, and I just don't know right now. So there is a possibility I might rank these companies from 1 to 25, and if not, I still just do a standalone video on all 25 companies. So I've already done one on SciDev, another company called Reed Cloud, a market cap of $8 million, Bellevue Gold, Acumentis, Gratifi, Strike Energy, Neuron Pharmaceuticals, Mach 7, SSH Group, Fineos, Develop Global, EZZ Life Sciences, ABV, which is ABV Break Technology. I'm pretty sure the ticker code used to be ABT. Yeah, ADV Braking Technology. That's what they're advanced braking technology. So ADV braking technology. I think I've done a video on that company in the past. SiteMinder or Coda, Action Technologies, Airtasker, Aquarian, Numi, Gnosis, Metalrock, Vonix, Queensland Pacific Metals. CTP is Central Petroleum. Something Central Petroleum. Is there another word there? Central Petroleum. No, there is not. Just Central Petroleum. And then BRK is Brookside. Okay, so look out for these 25 standalone videos on the companies that made it onto the list. Now, I am planning to make these videos fairly short. So my initial plan is for those videos to be between like 4 and 5 minutes, sort of brief videos on all 25 companies. Knowing me, more than likely the videos will be like 8 minutes. And even then, some of those videos might be 10 minutes. I know myself. And when I say a video is going to be a certain length, there is a great chance, a high chance it's going to be longer. Anyway, so what do you think of this top 25 companies? Would you have included one of the companies I excluded into this top 25 list? And more than likely, the answer is yes. So what company would you have included in the top 25 that I might have excluded? So leave that name in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I am not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.